They are about to kick off the first step in the postseason run to get another one of these. And this guy is serious, coming after you and everybody in Texas. Let's get after it here on RGR Football. Welcome in, everybody. It is a fun day. Our game plan. We're going to go take this first step towards the three-peat in the postseason. Up again against the Texans. This is going to be a lot of fun. Got some news right off the bat we will jump into, as well as give you our 4 points and our predictions. This is Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. You can find us here. You can find us at NFL 33. You can find Dan at the Draft Network. You can find me on Locked On Chiefs. There's a ton going on, but right here's where we're going to keep you straight, because there's a new rumor or a report, very specifically, that it looks like, according to ESPN, that it is going to be Joe Thuney at left tackle. That would mean Caliendo at left guard. That is a decision that supposedly has been made. It is not official at this point, but we're going to act very much like it is, because that's the news that just came out. So we both had different reactions to it. I haven't put mine on social. What did you take away?
I understand it. I get it. You guys know that I've been advocating for them to start with DJ Humphries at left tackle, because you can always go back to Joe Thuney. Like, that's really what it comes down to for me. But let's not forget, they had 3 weeks essentially to game plan specifically for this. They went back and watched the tape, understood the run game wasn't very good. Maybe in those 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, they implemented some new runs that they'll be able to get after. Maybe you're going to see some duo, specifically because what is Mike Caliendo not very good at? Getting vertical displacement. If he has some help, maybe he'll be able to do that, and that might help them as well. So I'm not saying they're going to run duo, but I'm saying that they might have some different wrinkles. You might see some different things, but overall, what this tells me, if it is Joe Thuney at left tackle, the weight of this entire quick game extension of the run game is on Patrick Mahomes. They met with Patrick Mahomes. He said, I'm good with this. Put it on my shoulders. We'll go execute and we'll make this happen. And that's what I believe in essence comes down to.
Yeah, if this is the way that it goes down, that's basically what has to happen, because, as you said, you've had that evaluation time. Now, the reason that it's a concern is because, A, DJ clearly hasn't progressed enough in all this time off to make you feel more comfortable. And maybe that is just a comfort thing, the number of reps he and Patrick have had. But I'll tell you, I still think it's a concern. And it's not because of the performance of Joe Thuney. A lot of folks out there who don't understand ball are rejoicing that this has happened at this point. And I will tell you, that is a stretch. If you are celebrating it, or you're reading someone, a lot of bloggers that I don't care to name are celebrating this, it's a problem, because these are the snaps. This is what happened for Joe Thuney the first time around, and he was fine. It was the second most pressures he gave up all season, the most being to the Cleveland Browns and what happened with Myles Garrett, because that is the way that happens when you play Myles Garrett. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the Texans have been watching this film for the last week, just like I have. And there is going to be a better chance of them either taking advantage of something they see here on film, the one thing that I will not give away on this video in case somebody is watching, as well as some other way to exploit what they do see here. And so for me, I still value the mystery that is DJ Humphries as part of the equation. And I think that's something they probably have not really focused in on this, or it just isn't as stout as the plus of having Joe. A lot of fans are going to be out there, well, I saw Joe play better, so he's the better option. That is not always the case, because everything continues to evolve. So I will say this. If he does actually get to start, good for him. Clearly, it's what the offense is best at the last week in preparation. But I will also say, if they choose to start overloading Joe and giving him more stunts in his face, because that's one thing that I didn't think they did as much as I thought on first watch. On second watch, they have room to throw more things at Joe. And if that does happen, you could see the possibility that maybe Joe has to switch. If they have to do that mid-game, I just don't like it. So that's the reason that I'm a little tentative about it, but that's what we understand. This is job number one. The left tackle spot is the most important matchup this week to protect Patrick Mahomes. What's number two, Dan?
So, I mean, we kind of touched on a little bit with Mike Caliendo in there. It makes things a little bit muddy at times. So when you are getting at the run game and creating that extension of the run game because that's what the Chiefs want, right? The short, if you even go back to this Houston game, it's a lot of quick passes out, trying to get the ball out quickly to get to that yak, which they've really done over the past 3 years. And that's what this has to be now. The RPO game is back. We saw that again with the emergence now coming back from the injury with Hollywood Brown. They've been able to work in those RPOs. Now, you're going to have to tweak them a little bit because you put it all on tape, right? And that's what the Chiefs are really good at. And that's one of the most under-discussed points about this last 2 weeks. Andy Reid is almost undefeated coming off of a bye. Almost undefeated. We can't forget that the game plan that he sets in every single year has always worked to their advantage. And that's why when they come in with this game plan, like, I'm really excited about it. I mean, my first point really is trust in Andy Reid. Like, that's what this is. They just sit, they make decisions properly with Patrick Mahomes. And the fact that they are coming off that bye, let's not forget that the game plan that he's going to put in, the plays they're going to run, are going to be best suited to what they currently have. And if you trust Joe Thuney at left tackle, you have to be aware that Mike Caliendo is now the worst offensive line player out there. He just is. That means you're probably going to see Danico Autry and Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson all shifting in, looping in and out like Ryan was talking about. So the game plan has to adjust to it. Obviously, they're going to take measures for that as well. So you might see Patrick Mahomes, I don't know, run out to his right a little bit. Honestly, maybe he runs to his left a little bit into the pressure to do something a little bit different. So I guess my first point is just really just to say trust in the Andy Reid off of a bye effect that we have seen over the course of his coaching ship.
And I think the runs for Patrick in particular will be more effective. Now, folks, we are taking a little bit slow because this is a playoff game. Normally, we're in and out in 8 or 9 minutes. We're going to give you a little bit more, and we're going to start right after this with a message from our pals over at Underdog Daily Fantasy.
All right, everybody, you guys know, if you watch the film review on Wednesday, we're very thankful and happy to have Underdog as one of our sponsors for the channel. And this page should look familiar to you. It's not the first time you've seen it before, but this guy's face right here is brimming on the front of it. And if you guys use the code RGR right now, sign up, you're going to get your deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And this pick will come up for you. It's a free pick. It's 1 yard equals 1 win. So you guys already in your little pick'em bet, your pick'em slip will be right there. You get that immediately because we know Patrick's getting over one. Right? It's not a big deal. It's going to happen. So we're going to come down here, and this is where we get to focus on the Houston Texans versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be a cold game, right? We know that. But I already have Patrick Mahomes in my very first pick'em lineup, so you guys don't worry about that. We're going to skip on to some other options here. Now, Travis Kelce averages about 70-plus yards a game in the postseason. But I think I want to wait for Travis Kelce a little bit later. Isaiah Pacheco, still, we don't know what we're going to see from him. Let's go down the board a little bit here. And this is where it gets spicy because this was really set initially at 2.5 receptions for our buddy, our good friend, ex-Houston Texan DeAndre Hopkins. Now, obviously, there's a good reason for that. He hasn't gotten a huge bulk of the workload, but let's go ahead and bump this number up, all right? I don't know about you. I have predicted a very big game for DeAndre Hopkins against his former team in the postseason, and this nice little multiplier right here helps you out. And that's one of the things about Underdog that really is cool because they've added these to their whole array where you can kind of set higher or lower on the actual receptions number that they have, or you can say maybe he was going to get 5 catches, or if you think he's just going to blow up, you can do this and you can really add that multiplier up. So just be wary of that. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here for DeAndre Hopkins because I really do believe that he's going to do that. Let's come over here to Kareem Hunt real quick. And just so you guys know, you have to have at least 2 teams in your pick'em slip, right? You can't just go load up on the Chiefs because, that'd be a lot of fun, but we can't really do that. So let's get over here to Kareem Hunt, where we know he is now the goal line and short yardage back. And if you look at this, once again, look at the multiplier, look at 1.26, higher than 0.5 rushing or receiving touchdowns. That's what this says. So we click into here. I don't know about you guys, but I know that when it's on the 1 yard line, on the 2 yard line, they're handing that football to Kareem Hunt, and he is going to score a touchdown. So I like, yes, see, even it comes up right here. You must pick from at least 2 different teams. Thank you, Underdog, making it real easy. But that's not a problem. We're going to go over here, getting Dalton Schultz without their bigger number 1, 2 receivers. And I do believe they're going to put clamps, safety shade on Nico Collins, like I mentioned in my film review on Wednesday. That comes to their number 2, quote unquote, receiver. Dalton Schultz. Also set at 3.5 receptions. Now, you already have a couple other multipliers on this, so I'm not worried about hitting higher on this with a 0.89. And this is where it comes for me, all right? I like 3 or 4 picks, and this is, again, really a really nice one because you get an 8.67 multiplier on those, that money you put in there. 10, 20. I like to keep it frisky here, but really that's it. You guys come down and then you hit that play button on Underdog. Make sure you use the code RGR to get up to $1,000 on your deposit bonus when you use the code RGR to sign up. And it's as simple as that, guys.
We hope that you guys will enjoy it. Check out Underdog. Just that easy. A couple of picks, what you think the guys are going to do, plus those multipliers. It doesn't get any better for that. Check it at Underdog Fantasy. I'm feeling like underdogs have to be respected, especially this week. So the next matchup that's key for me is understanding that who's going to play for them. Well, their linebacker that's come under a lot of controversy this year. The guy is an athlete. I'm not going to try to massacre his name, and honestly, I don't want to give him the credit right now. But they have to be aware at the second level. So if you're running outside, you got to be aware of where he is at all times. And I think he is ripe to be somebody that gets taken advantage of by the second tight end. There has to be a lot of focus on Travis Kelce, right? A lot of talk about how Travis feels 22 and he's going to come back, bounce back. I think there is ample room for Noah Gray and Peyton Hendershot to take advantage of the other linebackers out there at the second level. That's what I would like to see them do.
I love that. And when you talk about the linebackers second level, if you go back to the Chargers game, Azeez Al-Shaair was doing a lot of coming down to the offensive line. He's a blitzer. He wants to get after the quarterback. He wants to lay hits. So that means you have Christian Harris, Henry To'oTo'o out there kind of making things work. That's where you can attack. They're younger players. To'oTo'o is not the best in coverage. If you can isolate him on Noah Gray or Peyton Hendershot, you take that all day, every day. And I love that. I love that very, very much. So that kind of plays in. We're talking about defense, right? Let's click on over to the defensive side. Hey, guys. Jaylen Watson activated. He is going to be starting on the opposite side for Kansas City Chiefs with Trent McDuffie. Now, that is music to everybody's ears, but we know those guys are comfortable. That's what they want to be. They want to be out there. Jaylen Watson is a competitor. Let's look at the corner 3 spot, really, what it comes down to when you're in your nickel. That's where the Chiefs want to be. They want to be in base. They want to be in dime, right? They want to have multiple DBs out there. They want to be comfortable blitzing and mixing it up. Chamari Connor, we know is going to play. We know it. This is your game, buddy. I know you're going to be out there. You have to come and be what you were in last year's postseason because he was fantastic in the postseason. He was everywhere. Now they're going to use him a little bit different, more complimentary. I think in obvious passing situations, you'll probably see CRW. But against the run, they will still run the football. I expect Joe Mixon to be activated, and that's when you're going to see Chamari Connor come downhill and be impactful in those short yardage situations, or just trying to get after wide receiver screens because they will throw wide receiver screens at you as well and try to go in that direction. So Chamari Connor, I'm going to put this on you. Kind of my key is almost like the corner, the slot corner, whoever it's going to be, that nickel, whoever's going to be out there. This is your time now. Everyone in that position is going to have to step up in this game because I know that they don't have a ton of wide receiver depth, but if they're going to motion, they're going to bring big old Nico Collins into the slot. Guess what? Someone's going to have to come out there and be helpful. I know you're going to have safety shade over the top, but get physical to line of scrimmage, even if it's John Mechie in the slot or Dalton Schultz in the slot. Man up, be physical, throw off that timing to allow the pass rush to do its work.
We are going to give you an X factor and a prediction each. I will start with the X factor because George Karlaftis and Chris Jones are going to lock it down. They're going to get a lot of attention, and Chris, especially now healthy, is going to get extra attention. So for me, the guy that has to step out, and he's already spoken about taking his game to the next level this week, is Charles Omenihu, because I think he's been very active. He's been playing himself into shape. Honestly, his transition back to the team, I think, has been very, very smooth. So now it's about you've got your sea legs under you, take it up to the next level. He is the guy that I think might reap the benefits of what George and Chris are going to get on a roll with.
I love that. I love it so much because we've seen what he did in the postseason last year, right? He was huge before he got hurt. Like that was what he's really tried to make a name for himself in from the 49ers and then Texans previously. Again, another Houston Texan connection for this team. And that's what you want. You see, come in against this team and make a play. For me, I'm going to the opposite side. And it's someone who, again, coming off of an injury. Isaiah Pacheco, it's time to have your impact. This has to be, I know the offensive line stuff is going to be one thing in terms of maybe you can't run to the left the best. But guess what? it doesn't matter for you. Who cares where you get the football? Your number one thing is running people over, hitting the ground as hard as you possibly can and getting into space, and then unloading. He's going to be healthy. He's going to be fully rested. And I think what one we didn't really see was him fully healthy, fully rested. I think coming off this time off will help his legs a lot. And we know that 1-2 punch with him and Kareem Hunt is what's going to be really seen in this postseason for the Chiefs at running back. So Isaiah Pacheco, couple of big plays I think are going to happen for him in this game.
I'm looking forward to it. All right. I usually go last, so I will let you have the last word this week. I feel like this is one that kudos to the Texans for what they did last week and taking out the Chargers. Played and actually had the performance a lot better than I expected.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably hit their peak, and I think they're coming down. I think reality is going to bite them pretty damn hard. I don't think the Chiefs have gone this far to watch this plan come together, to have this rest, to put everything back, to have an entire fully healthy, other than McCole Hardman and Rashee Rice, we know you're still on IR, on the field this week to let it slip away. So I think they perform better than we expect, better than we've seen all regular season. I have the Chiefs winning this 27-17. They might go down early. They might go down by 10, which I'm more than comfortable with, and so is Patrick. But I think they pull it out by a 10-point margin.
That's exactly where I think I'm going. I'm not going the exact same score, but let's not forget, Steve Spagnuolo, guys, in the postseason is the best. He's the best. And CJ Stroud, you are one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch, but you are not going to like going up against playoff Spags, my friend. Not going to happen. It's not going to be very fun. Patrick Mahomes, as we know, Travis Kelce, this team, they know what to do. They know how to turn it on. And Andy Reid off a bye, it's just done. If you guys haven't done it, go over to the Chiefs Twitter page, watch the Under the Helmet little 3 to 4 minute clip where they're talking about getting ready for the postseason. It gets my heart going. I'm ready to run through a wall. Then I realize I'm 32 years old, and that's probably not going to happen anymore. The Chiefs are going to blow out the Houston Texans. I think it's going to look closer at the end because that's typically what Spags does. I think they're going to score 31 points in this game. You're going to see the Texans come back late. It's going to be 31-20 Kansas City.
I like it. Dan, the young pup, is feeling old. I will take that every time. What's not old is the first step towards that three-peat. They are going to get it done. We'd love to know what you think. What are your predictions? What do you want to see? Put them down in the comments. Make sure you like, sub, hit the bell. Get the gear, the Rogue Nation gear, the RGR stuff, even the MVP stuff. You can get it all at the RGR store. You can see that over my shoulder as well. We appreciate you. Happy Red Friday. Enjoy yourself. It's a weird game, and then we get to watch and see what happens after that. We will be back with you live post-game. Do not miss it. Have a great one, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.